shall I fear? Whom shall I fear? And of whom shall I be afraid? The Lord is the strength of my life. The Lord is the strength of my life. Whom shall I fear? Whom shall I fear? And of whom shall I be afraid? Be afraid. When the wicked, even mine enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Though an host should encamp against me, in my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. The Lord is my light and my salvation. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Whom shall I fear? And of whom shall I be afraid? Of whom shall I be afraid?
Thank you, Gary. It's beautiful. I love the passion in your music. And the Yizkor service is all about our hearts and our hearts for our loved ones. So at this time, I'd like to call up Angie and Barb for a responsive reading, and you can join us on page 311 in your mock store.
Lord, let us know my end, and what is the measure of my days, that I may know what I lack.
Together. Behold, you have made my days like a handbreadth, and a man's life is as nothing compared to you. Truly, everyone's life at its best altogether. Vanity, Selah.
Surely man walks to and fro as a shadow. Indeed, for vanity's sake, he is in turmoil as he heaps up riches, not knowing who shall gather them up.
And now, Lord, in what shall I hope? My hope is in you.
Save me from all my iniquity. Do not put upon me the shame of the impure.
I can say nothing, nor can I open my mouth, for you cannot be moved.
Turn away your stroke from me. By the stroke of your hand I have been consumed.
When, with punishments, you chastise man for sin, you consume his beauty as a moth is consumed by the fire. Surely all people are filled with vanity.
Lord,
Selah.
hear my prayer and listen to my cry. Do not be silent at my tears, for I am not a stranger to you, a sojourner like all my fathers.
Look away from me that I may take comfort before I depart and am no more.
And we'll continue on that page together, Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, what then shall I lack? He makes me lie down in grassy meadows. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of the righteous for his name's sake. And though I walk in the valley of the death's shadow, I will not fear the wicked, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff give me comfort. You arrange a table before me in the very presence of my enemies. You cover my head with fragrant oils. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and loving kindness shall follow after me all the days of my life, and for the length of my days, my dwelling place will be in the house of the Lord. Amen. All right, well, Dima and I are going to be reading the names of all of our loved ones, and first we're going to read all of the names that are on the memorial tree, and then we'll read the additional names that have been submitted to us. Sherry Horowitz, my sister. Sanford Lebman, my father. Ruth Miner and E.C. Hal Miner Sargent, parents of Hal Miner.
Kathy Cruz, Harriet Davidson, Peggy Gilbert, aunts of Hal Miner. Pauline and Samuel Lebman, grandparents of Barbara Miner. Francis and Irwin May, Wallace Schoenfield, grandparents of Barbara Miner.
Nancy Mentero, mother of Nancy Rivera Leon. Thomas and Patricia Huxley, parents of Mary Pat Huxley. And by the way, yes, stand as we call the names of your loved ones. James Spencer Scott, son and nephew of the Scott, Skogstad, and Morales families.
Clifford and Lillian Wolfe, parents of Stephanie Morales. Sophia Bella Lark, grandmother of Stephanie Morales. Richard Roswell Barnes, father of Mary Kay Barnes.
Jim Ho, dear friend of many of us at Beth Emunah. Lucy and Eddie Ratnam, parents of Elizabeth Eddie Bertrand. Harry Joseph Bertrand, father of Mel Bertrand.
Lila Kinsler, mother of Michael Putcher and dear friend of many at BE. Glenn Campbell, husband of Kim Campbell, Chappelle. Leonard and Benjamin Rates, parents of Stephanie Croxon.
Jessie Rincon, adopted mother of Pamela Rincon. David Rincon Lopez, father of Pamela Rincon. Beatriz Olivares Nava Perez, mother of Ben Herrera.
Jose Andrade Simona Mora, grandparents of Kerem Delgado. Marlene Simcha Andrade, Mora Hebetz, mother of Kerem Delgado. Hiroko Rocky Nishino, friend of Don Shuck and many of the people here.
Yeah. Doran and Randalee Farnham, parents of Pamela Scott. Ramona and Gonzalo Cano Diaz, parents of Angie Hudding. Al S. Fuentes, son of Angie Hudding.
David S. Fuentes, son of Angie Hudding. Timothy Matthew Hudding, son of Angie and Richard Hudding. Hal Hirsch, friend of Don Shuck, and many here.
Sean Emsley, friend of many at Beth Emunah and good friend of Dima's as well. And Israel Neck Amick, friends of many and a good friend of Dima as well. And Pat and Lucille Lusted, parents of Bob Lusted.
And Helena Maria Paredes, mother of Diana Jeannie Roberts. Ernst Q. Paredes, stepfather of Diana Jeannie Roberts. Joseph Joey James Hayek, grandson of Diana Jeannie Roberts.
Florence and Melvin Nadell, parents of Evan Nadell. Dante and Lois Rachetti, parents of Francesca Rachetti. Janet and Arnold Stover, parents of Mark Stover.
Ruth and Martin Silberling, parents of Murray Silberling. Helen and George Siegler, parents of Rosie Silberling. Ralph Scott Curtis, husband of Rosie Silberling.
George Bud Siegler, brother of Rosie Silberling. Cesar Sanz Golderaz, father of Mary Carmen Sanz de Berman. Leah Fega Bat Avraham, mother of Dima Berman.
Harold Turner, husband of Brenda Turner and beloved friend of many. Annie Valentine Bonner, Mayberry, mother of Gary Bonner. Jen Edward Bonner Sr., father of Gary Bonner.
Janice Deborah Barner Clark, sister of Gary Bonner. Linda Diane Bonner Jackson, sister of Gary Bonner. Waltraud and Joseph Steinmetz, parents of Karen Foreman.
Bo Luke Listy, son of Corey Keeler. John Wiernick, uncle of Corey Keeler. Charles Earl Keeler, father of Randy Keeler.
Michael Stanley Campbell, brother of Corey Keeler. Bud and Corey Campbell, parents of Corey Keeler. Zena Traeger-Braun, mother of Therese Rochelle.
Phyllis Ann Crandall, mother of Barbara Crandall. Carolyn Alice Padley, aunt of Barbara Crandall. Claire Marie Crandall, sister-in-law of Barbara Crandall.
Hal Weber, father of Mark Weber. Stephen Weber, brother of Mark Weber. Bernard and Peggy Kaufman, grandparents of Mark Kaufman.
Robert Lane, father of Stephanie Lane. Anna Lane, mother of Stephanie Lane. Adam Lane, brother of Stephanie Lane.
Actually, it's Stephen Lane.
Stephen Lane.
Yeah. Joseph Lynette, father of Susie Lynette. Jack and Clara Aronson, parents of Gail Aronson. Arlene and Clifford Lawson, parents of Rachel Keller.
Eric Steen, husband and father. Dimas Martinez, senior, father of
Deborah Armstrong.
Deborah Armstrong.
Yeah, it was on. Yeah.
Vahe Harapetian, brother of Evelyn Simanyan.
Jesse Connor Rowan, son of Kathleen Middlebrooks. James G. Dusenberry, uncle of Paul Herman. Jonathan Trotter, son of Dana Herman.
Tamar Maria Fox, mother of Steve Stern. Jack John Stern, father of Steve Stern. Leon Betty Strauss, parents of Ruth Stern.
Neil Bremberg, father of Brent Bremberg. Vera and Thomas Reyes, parents of Melanie Bremberg. Hazel Darlene Harrison, mother of Edward Harrison.
George and Dorothy Brumbach, grandparents of Rabbi Joshua Brumbach. Victor Brumbach, uncle of Rabbi Joshua Brumbach. Helen Martin Alfred, parents of Andrea Alfred.
So those are all the names on the tree, and we have a lot more here. Caitlin Elizabeth Scarberry, daughter of Suzanne Scarberry. And you can continue standing if you'd like to, or sit if you'd like to. Elaine Pollett, mother of Susan Scarberry. Walter Pollett, father of Suzanne Scarberry. And Anita Lintz, sister of Suzanne Scarberry.
George Allison, father of Bryce Allison.
Lita Croxon, aunt of Ron Croxon, and Carol Magana, sister of Ron Croxon.
Gordon
Garrett?
Garrett, Millie Garrett, Beatrice Weinstein, Stephen Weinstein, Julius Garrett, uncle, grandma's uncle and grandpa of Penny Weinstein.
Ernesto Morales, uncle of Rachel Shapiro. Phyllis Shapiro, Jose Morales, Anita Morales, grandparents of Rachel Shapiro.
Ruth Keller and Ken Keller, mom and dad of Mark Keller.
Robert Dillingham, father of Deborah Shearer, and Benjamin and Grace Shearer, parents of Benjamin Shearer.
Edward Jean Kudlubek, father of Amanda Catherine Kudlubek.
Moises Gusick, brother-in-law, Mary Carmen Berman.
Joseph Portugues, Rose Portugues, Charlie Aaron Portugues, Ida Goldman. Dad, mom, brother, and aunt of Shoshana Portugues.
Naomi Jensen and John Jensen, parents of Yochanan. Jenny Wade, daughter of Yochanan. and Claudette Jansen, wife of Yochanan.
Rosalind Harrison, Gretchen Farnham, Doran Farnham, grandmas and grandpa of Pamela Scott.
Aaron Margolis and Myra Margolis, father and mother-in-law of Elizabeth Margolis. Dennis Hall, cousin, and Bryony Armitage, goddaughter of Elizabeth Margolis.
Don Williams, son-in-law of Elizabeth Margolis.
Lois and John Hall, parents of Elizabeth Margolis. Sarah Hall and John Hall, grandparents of Elizabeth Margolis.
Johnny Mae Scott, William Scott, Helen Scott, mother, father, and sister of Richard Scott.
Anthony Mendez, great-nephew of Angie Hudding. Carmen Leyva, aunt. George Ceza, uncle. Cynthia Hernandez, niece of Angie Hudding.
Irving Weiss, Julie Weiss, mother and father of Amanda Staples.
Anna Magana Berg, sister. Rigo Barrera, brother of Irma Araguin.
Cyrene, sister of Gare Skogstad.
Richard Roby, a special friend who just recently passed away, of Barb Crandall's.
Leo, Rivka, David, Hannah, parents and Leo and Sarah, Ilya Ostrov, Rivka Ostrov, Dina, Alex, and Jane. The grandparents, parents, husband, mother-in-law, sister, son-in-law, and a friend of Marina Ostrov.
And the last one, Bertha Miller Ramirez, William Ramirez, grandparents of Jeannie Roberts, Jacob Teasley, nephew, George Roberts and Thelma Roberts, parents of Brad Roberts, her husband, so those are parents-in-law. John Ramirez, uncle, Teresa Ramirez, cousin, and Ruben Ramirez, uncle. So may their memories be a blessing to all of you, especially at this time of year and every time you think of them. And I'd like to invite Stephanie up for a responsive reading. This is one that you have on a handout that's been distributed. Does everybody have the handout called We Remember Them? If you need one, raise your hand. Okay.
Okay. We Remember Them by Rabbi Sylvan Kaimans and Rabbi Jack Reamer. At the rising sun and at its going down, we remember them.
At the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them.
At the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them.
At the blueness of the skies and in the warmth of summer, we remember them.
At the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of the autumn, we remember them.
At the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them.
As long as we live, they too will live, for they are a part of us as we remember them.
We're having a hard time up here. I don't know about you guys. Okay. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them.
When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them.
When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them.
When we have joy we crave to share, we remember them.
When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them.
For as long as we live, they too will live, for they are a part of us as we remember them.
And in your mock sores, on pages 312 through 317, you'll find Prayers that are special blessings depending on if you've lost a mother, a father, child, sister, brother. So take a few moments and just read the prayers that are most relevant to the loved ones that have passed on for you. So you can just do that silently. And Dima is going to lead us on page 317. He'll be doing it in Hebrew. You can read along in the English. The prayer for the Jewish martyrs and the soldiers of Israel.
Yizkor Elohim nishmot hakdoshim v'hatahorim shenehargu v'shechinishtahu v'shenisrafu v'shenitba'u v'shenechnaku al kiddush Hashem tihyena nefshotechem tzurorot b'tzror ha'hayim nishamot Avraham Yitzhak v'Yakov Sara Rivka Rachel v'Leah v'im she'ar tzadikim v'tzidkanyot shebegan Eden Amen. Yizkor Elohim et neshmot hayelei tzvah hagana leYisrael שמסרו נפשם על קדושת השם העם הארץ ונפלו במלחמות לשחרור ארצנו הקדושה תחיינה נפשותיכם צרורות בצרור החיים עם הנשמות אברהם יצחק ויעקב שרה רבקה רחל ולאה ועם נשמות שאר גיבורי ישראל שבגן עדן אמן. Yeah, okay. And please stand for El Merachimim. We're going to say one for men, and this is one for women. You will insert the names when I pause. And you can all follow me also. It's on page 318 at the top. El Malei Rachamim Shohen Bamromim עצמה מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזכירים את נשמת שחלק לעולמי בגן עדן, להנבאל הרחמים יסתירכו בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ויצרור ברצרור החיים את נשמתו, אדוני הוא נחלתו, וינוח בשלום ונאמר אמן. Now for the women. אל מלאי רחמים, שוכן במרומים, עצמה מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה, בעלמות קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע, מזכירים את נשמת. שחלחה לעולמה בגן עדן, להן בעל הרחמים יסתירך בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ויצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתה, אדוני הוא נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום ונאמר, Amen.
Amen. And let's read together at the bottom of page 319, 1 Thessalonians 4:13 through 18. This was also spoken, my brothers, that it not be hidden from you concerning those who have fallen asleep, in order that you not mourn as do those who have no hope in them. For if we truly believe that Yeshua died and lives again, then we must also believe that God will bring those who died in Yeshua to life with him. For this we say to you by the word of the Lord, that we who remain alive until the coming of the Lord will by no means precede those who have died. For the Lord himself will descend from the heavens with a shout, with the sound of the archangel, blowing the shofar of God, and so the dead in Messiah will be the first to rise. After this, we who are alive and remain will be taken with them, together with the cloud of witnesses, to meet the Lord in the sky, and so we will be with the Lord always. Therefore, comfort one another with these words. Amen. And we'll do the Kaddish, which you can find on page 208 of your Machzor. Dima will lead us in Hebrew, and then I will lead us in English. Yeah, so back to page 208.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמה דברה חירותי והמליך מלכותי, ויצמח פורקני ויקרב משיחי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו.
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקדושה בריחו, לילה ולילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ויאמרו. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו. Amen.
And before we read this together in English, Rabbi Murray once shared with us that another famous rabbi, Rabbi Carlbach, talked about these words of the Kaddish, and he said, you know, there's nothing about the Kaddish that's about mourning. It's all about exalting God. And it's as if, I love this image, it's as if our loved ones who have passed on are telling us what it's like there through these words. So let's keep that in mind as we read these words in English. Magnified and sanctified may God's great name be throughout the world, which he has created according to his will. May he establish his kingdom in our lifetime and during our days and within the life of the entire house of Israel, speedily and soon. Amen. May the greatness of his name be blessed forever and ever. Let the name of the Holy One, blessed is he, be blessed and praised, glorified and exalted, extolled and honored, adored and lauded, exceedingly beyond all of the blessings and songs, praises and consolations that are ever spoken in this world, and say, Amen. May there be abundant peace from heaven and life for us and for all Israel, and say, Amen. May he who creates peace in his high heavens create peace for us and for all Israel, and say, Amen. Do not fear sudden... Yeah, let's read it. For God is with us. When you are old, I will be the same. I will sustain you even when your hair has turned gray. I have made you, and I will bear you. I will sustain you and save you. Amen. All right, so before we conclude our Yizkor service, which we are about to do, I would encourage you, in the next few minutes, maybe throughout the afternoon, maybe share some special qualities or special memories of your loved ones. You know, we keep them in our heart all the time, but what a wonderful time to share with others who may or may not have known them what some of the things were that you really appreciated about your loved ones. So, in fact, should we take a couple of minutes for people? Yeah, so if you want to turn to somebody, if you want to stand and tell somebody about one of your loved ones who is dear to your heart, who is no longer with us.